Today, I will be presenting the story behind the first ever mass happened in the Philippines, which we Filipinos learn being Christian, embodying the idea of Catholicism. We will know the person behind the first mass and the answer to the question where and when it was held. First mass in the Philippines. On March 31, 1521, the first documented Catholic Mass in the Philippines was held. It was conducted by the Father Pedro de Valderrama of Ferdinand Magellan expedition along the shores of what was referred to in the journals of Antonio Pigafetta as Masao. The first Holy Mass marked the birth of Roman Catholicism in the Philippines. Colombo and Saigo were the first natives of the archipelago, which was not yet named Philippines, until the expedition of Ruy Lopez de Villalobos in 1543 to attend the Mass among the other native inhabitants. The brothers Raha Saigo and Raha Colombo, who ruled Masao and Butuan, respectively, befriended Magellan and told him about Cebu, which they described to be a prosperous community where they could get more provisions. Primary source: Primo Viaggio Intorno al Mundo, First Voyage Around the World, by Antonio Pigafetta, translated by the Lord Stanley of Alderley, 1874.
About the author, Antonio Pigafetta, 1491 to 1534. Antonio Pigafetta was one of the famous Italian travelers who studied navigation and known by the name of Antonio Lombardo or Francisco Antonio Pigafetta. Pigafetta was born into a healthy Vicentia family and studied navigation among other things. He served on board the galleys of the Knights of Rhodes and accompanied the Papal Nuncio, Monsignor Chiragati, to Spain. Pigafetta being in Barcelona in 1519, he heard about Magellan's expedition, and being wishful to learn about the world, he asked for and obtained the permission to join the voyage. He joined the Portuguese Captain Ferdinand Magellan and his Spanish crew on trip to Maluku Island under the flag of Emperor Charles B. Pigafetta. Has most complete account of Magellan's expedition entitled Primo Viaggio Intorno al Mundo. He was one of the 18 survivors who returned to Spain aboard on the ship Victoria, and therefore considered as an eyewitness of the significant events happened on the first Mass, which Magellan names it the island of Saint Lazarus, that is later called the Philippine Archipelago. On September 8, 1522, the crew of Victoria cast anchor in the waters of Seville, Spain. Having just completed the first circumnavigation of the world, the Journal of Ferdinand Magellan Voyage Around the World in 1522, written by Antonio Pigafetta, and was produced in Seville, Spain. Magellan's route represents the confirmation of the Earth's roundness and its origin of the concept of globalism and the universality of knowledge. The distance from Butuan City to Sevilla, Spain, is approximately 12,802 kilometers.
The evidence for Masao rather than Limasawa are the following. First, the name of the place in all primary sources, including the diary of Antonio Pigafetta, the chronicler of Magellan's voyage. The name of the place was 3 syllables, Masao, or something close to it, Limasawa has 4 syllables and begin with other letter. In manuscript, there is no word Limasawa. Second, the route from Homonhon, according to the primary records, again the expedition traveled 20 to 25 leagues from Homonhon, the first landing point, to the site of the first mass, taking a west-southwest course. If they had been at Limasawa Island, the distance is only about 14.6 leagues or one half of that length. Moreover, the island of Limasawa is blocked from Homonhon by the tip of southern Leyte. Third, the latitude position. Some of the primary sources locate the place at 90 north latitude and other at 9 and 2/3 degrees. The latitude position eliminates Limasawa because it is closer by 10 degrees and strengthens the claim of Masao, Butuan because it is exactly at 9 degrees. Limasawa at 9 degrees 55-inch latitude was very far north of the 9 and 1/3 degrees north latitude. Dr. Potenciano Malvar, Chair of Butuan Calagan Historical Cultural Foundation. Fourth, the road to Cebu. The road to Cebu taken by the explorer is almost exactly similar to the one now taken by motor vessels from Cebu to Butuan. The King of Masao, Colombo, even guided the explorers to Cebu and act as their interpreter and intermediary when they met the Cebu King. On the contrary, there is no sea traffic from Limasawa to Cebu, then or now, and the distance to Cebu according to Pigafetta was 35 leagues, 140 miles. If it were Limasawa that they came, the distance would only be 80 miles or only half of alleged distance traveled.
The geographical features. The following physical features of the first kingdom point to Butuan rather than Limasawa as follows. A. The bonfire. The explorers were attracted to the light present the night before they came to shore. Now the name Masao in Butuanon precisely means bright, which could refer to the local custom of celebrating a harvest by cooking rice flakes in open fires. By contrast, there are no rice fields in Limasawa. The Balanghay, which is a prominent feature of the story of their stay in the First Kingdom. It was said that the king came to their ship in a balanghay and Pigafetta and his companion attended a party in ritual balanghay with the local king Butuan. It is now the site of at least 9 excavated balanghay relics. By contrast, Limasawa has no significant archaeological relics or balanghay tradition. Abundance of gold. The Western explorers got excited at the abundance of gold in Masao and Butuan, for that was the main currency at that time. Both archaeological relics, the gold image of Agusan, and gold mines today are rested to the abundance of gold in the Agusan Valley. However, there is no gold in Limasawa. The ships fired all their artillery at once when the body of Christ was elevated, the signal having been given from the shore with muskets. Dr. Potenciano Malvar said, "This could not be done all the same time in Limasawa because Magellan's shrine and landing are 700 meters apart." In Butuan, there was also a group called Fox of Magallanes that celebrated the Easter Mass for 300 years until 2000 at the Carvalho Monument. The date of the Mass was on April 8, 1521, following the Gregorian calendar. Conclusion. We formulated and gathered data that we can prove that the first Mass dated and happened on Easter Sunday, March 21, 1521. At Masao, Butuan is clearly the site that the first Mass was held. It is because historians and archaeologists were able to find credible artifacts and visible evidence in Butuan, which the Limasawa Southern Leyte did not contain. References. References.